Yeah, this is just a quick story about how easy it is to become homeless in this country now. Um, Last year, I had the best job I ever had. Um, I made like 50 grand last year. This year, I've made zero. I had to leave that job because I was diagnosed with silicosis from the decades I worked in stone quarries, breathing in the silica dust for 20 plus years. Um, it's causing me breathing problems now. I also have renal failure. My kidneys and my liver are starting to shut down. Um, Basically, it looks like I'm probably dying. Um, so I had some money saved I was living on. I figured, just like any other time, you'll get another job in a month or two. Well, now it's been 5 months. I've applied to over 200 jobs, many way lower paying, half even of what I was making last year, because I have bills to pay. Um, but you'll find out that if, even no matter how bad you need a job, if you're coming from, say, something that was paying $25 an hour, like the job I had last year, people won't want to hire you for less than that. They won't want to hire you at all. I mean, I've been asked so many times why I left. So now it's kind of a double edged sword. Am I supposed to tell them I left because I got sick? Then they're not going to want to hire me because I have a pre existing condition. Um, Luckily, I finished my 12 months on my lease, and after the 12 months, it was supposed to go on a month to month basis. Well, I ran out of money. It got to the point where I had to make a decision. I talked to my landlord. They gave me 2 weeks to make rent. Well, I had a part time job that was supposed to be 30 hours a week. They ended up giving me 5. It wasn't even worth the drive there. Um, so rather than drag things out with my landlord and cause them more problems, I just moved out. I put my stuff in storage. I sold a lot of stuff I did not want to sell, but I didn't have a choice. When you have no family, no friends to lean on, this shit sucks. Um, Never in my life. I've never been out of work this long if it wasn't for a layoff. I wasn't even out of work this long during COVID. Um, I'm 47 years old, but people don't want to hire old people. Uh, Kind of limited because of where I live. I'm stuck living in my car now, and I only have like one more month of car insurance. I'm driving around with a bad inspection sticker because I don't have the money to get the work done so my car could pass inspection. Luckily, it's a van, so at least I could stretch out and sleep in it with the seats taken out. But I see these stories happening to people all over. All right, I applied for disability. This is now the third time. I have bipolar depression, now the silicosis and renal failure, hypertension. Obviously, you can tell I'm fat. These are all things that I personally know people that only have the one thing that are getting disability. You know what they told me the last 2 times? You can adjust to a different line of work. Here I am going from a hard labor job. I've even applied to Walmart and McDonald's. Guess what? Because I have no retail experience, they're not interested. What is a person supposed to do? Because contrary to popular belief, you just can't go collect welfare. I don't know where people got that from, but you can't just go collect welfare. It does not work that way, especially if you are a single white male, and yes, I'm saying it, with no kids at home. Because I've worked my whole life, right? You work your whole life to pay into these safety net programs, so when you need them, they're there. And guess what? Now that I need them, they're not there. But I can't tell you how many 25-year-olds I know that are on welfare, on disability, claiming they're depressed. But they can sit at home and smoke weed and play video games all day. And it's all over their Facebook page about how they're milking the system. And they're getting a check. I paid into it for 34 years. 34 years I've been working. I didn't come from a family that taught me to save for retirement. I grew up very, very poor. Was told to drop out of school and help pay the bills. Don't worry about getting good grades. It's not going to get you anywhere. You need to get a job to help pay the rent. That's how I grew up, and that's how a lot of other people grew up. We didn't have anybody guiding us into doing the right things. I thought making decent money, would make me happy. It didn't. I was bringing home $1,100-$1,200 a week when I worked at Frito-Lay, and unfortunately I had to leave. It's a great place to work, just they mandate an awful lot of overtime. Depending on what state you live in New York State, they can only mandate you 20 hours a week overtime. And I worked 56 to 60 hours a week for about 7 straight months. And I worked in a part of the company that has the highest turnover rate. I worked in the warehouse where you have to maintain a quota. And if you don't maintain it, they will just get rid of you. I made it a year. Then I started having these breathing problems when I got to the half of the warehouse that was near where the boilers are for the chips. It's like 100, 110 degrees in there. I immediately couldn't breathe. So I went to the hospital. Had a bronchoscopy done. After they took x-rays and everything, they saw the silica build up in my lungs. The bronchoscopy proved it. And now that I'm also overweight, you know how many people I know click disability because they're fatter than me? Right, so now I have 5 legitimate disabilities. 5. And I'm still trying to find a job. I just got a phone call today from an employment agency, sent all my test results and everything to 7 different employers. 7. Not a single one of them is interested. Now, I don't know what it is, if it's my age, or if it's because I made $25 an hour at my last job. Not my last job, my second to last job. Because I did work for UPS as a personal vehicle delivery driver, which paid extremely well. I will say, if you can get one of those gigs for Christmas time, you can make a lot of money. If it wasn't for that, I would have been on the street several months ago when it was still wintertime. I'm probably going to be forced to risk my health and find another job back in the stone quarry industry that's making me sick. I don't feel that in America any citizen should have to make that decision. I live in a little area just south of Binghamton, New York. Halstead, New Milford, Montrose, Susquehanna County, Pennsylvania. But things are getting out of hand up in Binghamton. Like, there's all these shootings and all this gang activity and whatnot. And honestly, I don't want to deal with that. But I keep looking for work up there because the money's better. But I don't feel that anybody, any born American citizen, should be forced to, first off, starve. Second off, go on the street. And third off, have to risk their health and their life just to be able to try and make a living. Um, I'm not blaming the government for it. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know what's happened since COVID, but I have seen some real simple jobs. I've seen some cashier jobs that want a college degree, which doesn't make any sense to me. If you go to college, you shouldn't be a cashier. You should be doing something better than that. I'm drug free. I don't drink. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I quit that over 10 years ago. Um, 9 years ago, I lived in a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a 2-car garage. I was married. Then we got divorced. I let her keep the house so my daughter could stay in one place. It's not ideal, but what is these days? You know? I mean, I'm seeing, 19-year-old kids fresh out of high school that want $30 and $40 an hour. I don't know why you think you're worth that, first off, because I'm not even worth that. My first job paid $4.25 an hour in 1990. My first job at McDonald's, $4.25 an hour. I was only allowed to work 20 hours a week, no more than 4 hours a day. I brought home $65. Now people want that an hour to do like next to nothing. Something's got to give. I'm literally faced with, I think I might have enough money to pay one more month's car insurance. I owe the electric bill and the internet bill from my apartment to be able to get I had to put a deposit down on the electric, but I have to pay the last bill to get the deposit back because my credit's shot. Some of it's my own doing, yes. That I'm not going to deny. I know a lot of people blame everything on society. Well, everything is not society's fault. What I'm not understanding right now is, right, everybody says McDonald's, Burger King, all the fast food joints, Walmart, they hire everybody. No, they don't. I don't know. I mean, there's only a couple of options. And I'm not about to commit a crime to live in jail. That's not going to work. So, you need to understand that this is why some people don't want to be around anymore. I mean, you can only put up with so much. I mean, I just got told from my landlord she's not giving my security deposit back. That money could have helped me out tremendously. I gave her 28 days notice I was leaving. The lease said 30. I figured the 2 days she would, nope. She told me today. And as soon as I got that news, 15 minutes later, I got a phone call from the employment agency that said 7 places aren't interested. So it just keeps piling on and piling on. With all my health problems, it's probably going to be at least another. I applied for disability 3 months ago. It's probably going to be at least another 6. If I don't find some kind of income, I'm never going to get that news. I won't be able to pay for my post office box. I won't have nowhere to live. I won't have an address. This should not be happening in America. Period. I used to say all the time, I don't understand how people become homeless. I understand now. But I don't understand why 5 disabilities isn't enough to get disability even. I mean, I'd have to live on $1,400 a month because I haven't made a whole shitload of money in my life. A lot of times I worked for cash. You shouldn't have to be shutting down at 47 years old and ready to call it quits, especially when you don't have anywhere to go. Greatest country on earth. Yet, if I was a border jumper, you know how many programs there are I could take advantage of? But American citizens? You know, if you're born in a ghetto in a city, you can automatically go on Section 8 and food stamps right out of high school. But you can work for 34 years and not get anything when you absolutely need it. I'm not asking for anything either. I'm just asking for a job. A job that's not so physically demanding where I'm going to kill myself doing it. I should not have to make that decision. I don't think anybody out there should be forced to make that decision. But those are the decisions that we're being forced to make. I see now why people are getting pissed. But, like they say, you got to walk a mile in someone's shoes before you truly understand. Well, my shoes have holes in them.